Welcome back to Triple Off Sports Talk. I'm Josh. That's the idiot, and that's Roy over there.
That's fucked up.
Pod. Bryce, would you like to say what pod number we're on?
Pod number 69.
We've had a very nice number, boys. Very nice. MLB division that we're on this week. We only got two left. We're gonna do the AL East this week.
Worst division in baseball.
Sure. Would you say that we know the most about this division? I mean, two of the three of us obviously know, but even Bryce being growing up with Roy, I feel like Bryce at least knows this division versus some of the others. Like actually knows.
I know
feel like
this
this
one
would
better than I do any division besides the Central.
Yeah, I feel like this would probably be our best division to break down.
This is the one that gets talked about the most, probably.
Yeah. This and the NL Central easily the two, but still. All right, well, let's kick it off. Last place last year, the Toronto Blue Jays, the team that wants to get a superstar, maybe more than any team in the history of the sport. I mean, they've been trying for 4 years. They're over. Leading off, I'll go over their record. 2024 record 74-88. Key losses, closer Jordan Romano goes to the Phillies. Key adds, Max Scherzer at the age of 40 from Texas, Anthony Santander from Baltimore after a career year, Jeff Hoffman from the Phillies, Andres Jimenez, and Nick Sadlin from Cleveland.
We do freeze
Alejandro
up.
Kirk,
Yeah, he's
Bryce's
frozen.
favorite Blue Jay.
You're going to have to go through all those again, Josh.
Why?
You were frozen that whole time.
Oh, my God. What did I get frozen on the lineup?
Right
Well,
after you said the additions.
I don't think you need to go through them. I think you only missed a couple.
Bo Bichette, Vladdy, Santander, Springer, Barshow, Alejandro Kirk, Bryce's favorite Blue
I
Jay.
can't stand that short little fucker.
Andres Jimenez, Ernie Clement, and Joey Luperfino. Bench is pretty quiet. Rotation, Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, Max Scherzer, and Bowden Francis, with Jeff Hoffman taking over the closer spot. Chad Green, Yimi Garcia, Eric Swanson, Nick Sadlin, Brandon Little, Tommy Nance, Uriel Rodriguez. I'll go first on the Blue Jays. They've been swinging and missing on the big guys. Kind of give me the AL version of the San Francisco Giants the last 3 or 4 years. Just always try and get that superstar, but they can't land them. They don't want to come there. Only team in Toronto. Team's in a weird spot. Bo Bichette and Vladdy, 3 or 4 years ago looked like the faces of MLB. Bo Bichette's fallen off his last few years. Vladdy's career year last year. Impending free agent, no extension, will hit free agency. They do sign Anthony Santander to play left. Springer's getting old, and I don't love the bottom half of the lineup. The rotation, if you asked me in 2018, I would say it's the best rotation in baseball, but the age in the rotation scares me with Bassett, Scherzer, and Gausman, all over 34 years old. I do like the bullpen. I'll give them that. I think this team's okay. I think they could be better than 74 wins. Really tough division. Bless you. And I also think do they trade Vladdy? Do they trade Bo if they know they're not going to re-sign him? It's possible. Very weird team, in my opinion. I could see him being, above average. I could see him just being awful. So.
All right, I can go next. I agree. I think their lineup is not great. I mean, yeah, like you said, Bichette has completely fell off. I mean, he didn't do anything. Did not improve like he should do for a young guy. Springer, I mean, yeah, 2, 3 years, 4 years ago, stud. Now he's just hits home runs, and that's about it. I mean, he's fallen off. That lineup's just not great. You're right. The pitching staff a couple years ago, we would have been holy crap. I mean, Scherzer, he's too injury prone lately. I think that's the bad thing. Gausman, I liked him for years, but I just don't know. I don't know where.
Devastating splitter.
I just don't know where he's going to be at for the whole season. I think this team will trade some guys at the end. I think 74 wins is about what they're going to. This is just a tough division, playing everybody so many times that it's just going to be hard for them to improve a lot. I mean, their bullpen's great, but if you're starting pitching, you may never get to it. That's the problem. I mean, Chad Green, local boy, good for him. I'm happy I'm glad he's fine. Ex-Yankee. Glad he's coming back and getting healthy. He looked pretty decent last year. So, but Jeff Hoffman's a good addition. I think this Toronto team just not gonna take the next step. They haven't got anybody talent to come. They got some talent, but just not enough to put together.
Yeah.
I'll go. I do like the addition of Anthony Santander. He had a great year last year, but you guys kind of hit them all. Pitching's too old. Their best players really, like Bo Bichette, he was kind of non-existent last year. I really thought this team was going to sell at the deadline last year. I don't think there's any way that they can't sell at the deadline this year. I mean, unless they're just super hot, winning the division at the time. This division is way too strong to keep trying to sign a superstar. I mean, they were the last two teams in it with Shohei, and everybody knew Shohei didn't want to go play in fucking Canada. He's played in California his whole life. So I don't know what their plan is. They just want to splash money on a big guy and then see if he can carry him, and it hasn't worked out for them. They haven't gotten that person. So,
I mean, I understand the logic. I mean, they're trying to keep Vlad Guerrero, which he grew up in Canada for the most part, so I can at least understand the concept, but they're not landing them. They can't sign Vlad to the extension. I mean, if you're not, at that wild card spot at the deadline, you got to think this team sells. They did actually sell Kikuchi last year, got a pretty good deal for him, but yeah. All right, Roy or Bryce.
They're just a team that's going to struggle getting a player to come up there.
I know. Go ahead, Bryce. Go for fourth.
In fourth, we have the Rays with a record of 80 and 82, with their key losses being Jeffrey Springer and Jose Siri. Hey, Siri, you're having a bad night. I don't know if you guys know what that's from. Key adds, Ha-Sung Kim and Danny Jansen.
Sorry, I don't.
Shit, Siri was talking to me.
Ah.
Their lineup looks like Yanni Diaz, Brandon Lau, Junior Caminero, Josh Lau, Danny Jansen, Christopher Morel, RIP, Jonathan Aranda, Johnny DeLuca, Taylor Walls, little quiet bench. Starting pitching looks like Shane McClanahan, Taj Bradley, Ryan Piote, Zach Liddell, Shane Baz, and Drew Rasmussen. Their bullpen looks like Pete Fairbanks, Edwin Uceta, Garrett Clevinger, Manuel Rodriguez, Mason Montgomery, Alex Beato, Mike Bazel, and they have Ha-Sung Kim on the IR right now.
I ain't gonna lie. Half the reason I enjoy doing these division breakdowns is hearing Bryce go over the names. I just love them. I just love them.
You want to go first, Bryce? You want me first?
You can go first.
This is a typical Tampa Ray team. A bunch of young guys with maybe a couple older guys here, Diaz and stuff. This lineup is just it's one of them that's probably just gonna, they're gonna try to outpitch you. This is just Tampa Bay. I mean, they're gonna try to outsmart you, and that's what they're doing. They get some players that maybe people don't want. I mean, Danny Jansen's a great ad. I mean, for catching, I mean, he was pretty good last year. The pitching staff, I mean, just a bunch of young guys. And typical Rays, you got a bunch of young arms. They may get rocked and they may show up. They always have some pitching. That's the key. That's been their key. And it's always, but then they're gonna trade one of them heads and get more freaking stacked with more players. That's just Tampa's way to do it. They don't spend the money on these big time players.
They did once.
They did once, yeah.
Yeah. Became a pedophile.
True.
I don't know if they'll ever do it again.
This is just Tampa's team. They're gonna be a team. They could win the division, or they could just finish third or fourth. I mean, they're just that type of team. They probably, with the bunch of young guys, they probably start losing early like they did last year, and then probably got some winning streaks. That's just what they are. So this team's just, you never know with this team.
I actually think this is a pretty bad team. I think they have decent starting pitching and an okay bullpen, but I just don't like their lineup at all, really. Besides my boy Christopher Morel,
who's not dead, by the way. I know he said RIP.
Yeah, he's not dead, but he is not a Cub any longer. But I hated the trade at the time, but it's kind of turned into Kyle Tucker now. So if we can re-sign Kyle Tucker, then it's a great trade. But I don't really have a ton on this team.
Yeah, I mean, me and Roy know the Rays. We know how they do it. I'm split. I could see both. Like you kind of said, Roy, I could see this team winning some games. I could also see this team losing some games. Parts of their lineup I like. I've always liked Yanni Diaz. I've always liked Brandon Lau when he's on the field. Christopher Morel, man, he's one of those hitters that, he's hot for a month and then he doesn't get a hit for a month. Bryson knows that.
Yep.
They do have a superstar prospect who's finally going to get his full ride, Junior Caminero. I know you guys probably don't know him. He's like
I know him.
One of those guys. I mean, that's like their guy. But then I look at the bottom half of the lineup, Jonathan Aranda, Johnny DeLuca, Taylor Walls. I mean, just really bad. I like the rotation quite a bit. McClanahan, Roy knows this one. McClanahan pre-Tommy John. I mean, that dude was a Cy Young candidate every year.
He was a stud.
Taj Bradley's 24 years old, was their top prospect. They got Ryan Pepio in the Glasnow trade. He's a very good pitcher, and he's still got 4 years left of control. Drew Rasmussen was a solid 2 or 3 before Tommy John. Now he's back. Shane Baz, another top prospect. So the pitching staff to me feels like if the injured players return to above average, I think the pitching staff looks good. And if the young players, the prospects take that next step. If they don't, though, that's when you kind of run into trouble. And then I don't think this team's very good. And again, I'll say what I said about the Blue Jays. I could see this team moving people. Brandon Lau at the deadline. I could see him being moved. Yanni Diaz at the deadline. There was talk last year. I could see him getting moved. So I could also see some subtractions. Last year they go 80 and 82. I think they're right about that. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but I like the pitching. The offense scares me once they subtract, if they subtract, which I think they will, based off the division. But it's the Rays. They can beat you at any given point. Third place, the Boston Red Sox. They have a lot of changes from last year. 2024 record, they surprised people who most people thought they'd be bad. 81 and 81. Key losses, they lose Kenley Jansen, closer to the Angels. Nick Pivetta to the Padres, Tyler O'Neill to Baltimore, Dane Jansen to the Rays. And then I added prospects because they made a big deal. Kyle Teal, who was 2 years ago their first-round pick. He's a catcher. And their first-round pick last year, Braden Montgomery, outfielder, both to the White Sox. Their key additions, third baseman Alex Bregman, starting pitcher Walker Buehler, and starting pitcher Garrett Crochet. Lineup, left field, Jarren Duran. Third base, Rafi Scoops. Second base, Alex Bregman. First base, Tristan Casas. DH, Masataka Yoshida. Shortstop, Trevor Story. Right, Wilmer Abreu. Catcher, Connor Wong. In center fielder, Rodon Rafaela. Not much of a bench. Rotation, Garrett Crochet, Tanner Houck, Walker Buehler, Lucas Giolito back from Tommy John, and Brian Bayo. Relief pitcher, they signed Liam Hendricks last year, but he had Tommy John, so he didn't pitch all year, but he's back. So Liam Hendricks, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock, Justin Slatton, Greg Weishart, and then I don't really know the rest. They do have 2 starters who will begin the season on the IL, Cutter Crawford and Patrick Sandoval. Bryce, you want to go first?
Sure. I do want to say that you pronounced the name way worse than I've ever pronounced one on there.
That is not true. What did you just call Ryan Pepio last team?
You just said Rendon. That guy's name starts with a C.
Who?
The center fielder, Rafaela.
Sedani Rafaela.
What did I say?
You said Rendon Rafaela.
I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, because
I didn't call Pepio Peepee.
You can't fucking read. That's why.
Because one would agree and one not.
The Boston Red Sox. I mean, this team to me, I think that they could be very good. They have a great lineup. Also, added some pieces to the starting pitching role and their bullpen. I really like that, getting some people back from injury. This team just really confuses me because they lost so many pieces and also added a decent amount of pieces. It's got a very new look. I mean, we saw Tyler O'Neill go on a tear last year. He's not even on this team anymore. So I really don't know where I'm going to place them yet because I do think this team has the ability to be very good, but this division is just so good that I don't know how it could play out, honestly.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I have mixed emotions about their offseason. I'll be honest. It's going to kill me as a Yankee fan to say this. I like their offseason. Bregman, Buehler, Crochet. I look at someone like Alex Bregman. No, I didn't want him in New York. I don't think he fit perfect. He does fit Boston with that flipping monster in left field. He doesn't have to hit it as far. Getting Garrett Crochet for Teal and Montgomery, on paper, it looks great. I mean, he was dominant last year. The injury concern's always going to be there, but I mean, if he does what he did last year in Chicago, it's a home run pick. Outside of Crochet, I'm actually not a crazy fan of their rotation. Houck's solid. Buehler, he's 30 years old at this point. A lot of injury history. Don't love Giolito. Bayo's kind of been a disappointment. And I also don't love their bullpen, but I do like their lineup quite a bit. Jarren Duran broke out. Devers is Devers. Bregman should do well in Boston. Casas is good. I don't think much of Trevor Story. Another thing that I'll point out about the Red Sox that is not mentioned or on here, they do have 2 or 3, superstar prospects. I don't know if they'll all be superstars. I'm just saying at the moment. One of them I do think will be is the outfielder. But I don't know. I could see this team taking a big leap. I mean, they were 500, so I could see a big leap. I could also see a 500. I really don't see a world where they're a whole lot worse than 81 and 81. But it is a tough division. And like Bryce said, they do have a lot of new guys, which sometimes that can get off to slow starts. But I did like their offseason for the most part.
See, I do. I also have mixed reviews about this team. The front of their lineup is stacked. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, Duran, Devers, and Bregman. I think Bregman's perfect for that team. Get to the end of the lineup, kind of where they struggle. I mean, they won't struggle against the Yankees because it's fucking Yankees.
No, they
but
love.
But anybody else, they'll struggle. I'm not big on any of them. Their pitching staff, I'm not sold on it. I mean, Buehler, I think he's a guy that'll get you some innings, but you got injury history. Crochet, I just don't see him repeating what he did last year. And I think he'll struggle in a much tougher division and get rocked harder. And that might change some things. Now, I love the idea that we get to go against Aroldis Chapman because I fucking can't stand that fucker. I'm tired. I'm so fucking glad that he wasn't on our team. I'm still pissed that they still got Garrett Whitlock because I fucking seems to throw everything at the Yankees, and because we would let him go in the Rule 5 draft. He just tears us up, and I wish we still had him. I think he's a good pitcher for the Red Sox. This team, I with it being such a tough division, I think them Rays and Blue Jays are battling the bottom part of the division. It's just whether this pitching staff can come together. Because Giolito, I think he could have been good, but injuries have plagued him. And you got to have starting pitching to at least compete. And I don't think they have it. And I think that's what's going to get them in trouble.
Yeah. All right, take us away, Bryce, for the Orioles.
Coming in second, the Orioles with a 91-71 record in 2024. Their key losses are Anthony Santander, starting pitcher Corbin Burns, and their key additions are Andrew Kittredge, Charlie Morton, Tyler O'Neill, and Gary Sanchez.
Threw that in for you, Roy.
Do what?
I threw Gary Sanchez in there for you.
Why the fuck do you put players?
I had to put those guys in there.
So their lineup looks like Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Cedric Mullins, Jordan Westbrook, Colton Cowser, Tyler O'Neill, Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle, Jackson Holiday, with Gary Sanchez sitting the bench. They have starting pitching looks like Zach Eflin, Grayson Rodriguez, Charlie Morton, Dean Creamer.
Good luck.
Tomoyoki Sugano.
That's how I would have said it too.
Not bad.
Their bullpen at closer, we have Felix Bautista, Andrew Kittredge, Keegan Akin, Sarah Anthony Dominguez, Yanir Cano, Gregory Soto, Sionel Perez, Albert Suarez. And they have Jorge Mateo on the IR as well as Tyler Wells, Trevor Rogers, Chase McDermott, and Kyle Bradish. I'll go first on them. I'm already talking about them. I think that them losing Corbin Burns is going to hurt them. I think he's one of the best pitchers in the league and kind of won them a lot of games single-handedly last year. This team is young. We've said that for 2 or 3 years now. They're still kind of growing together. Jackson Holliday's 21. He was first overall pick, and then you have studs all in the first round with like Adley Rutschman and a bunch of guys like that we just keep expecting them to progress. They won the division for most of the year last year and then kind of fell off towards the end, hit a bad spot, and then just didn't play well in the playoffs. I think that the pitching is really going to hurt this team. I don't think that they have the starting pitching. I still think that they're a little young and didn't progress as much as people wanted them to last year. I think whenever they get a lot of people back from the IR, that'll help, but I still just think pitching can hurt this team throughout the year.
Yeah.
I can go.
Go ahead.
Now this lineup is ridiculous. I mean, they've got young studs that still need to improve, but they have room to improve, and they're all coming together. They're all young and coming together, and they'll feed off each other. That's what young kids do. They feed off each other and they get better. Cedric Mullins, that guy, he just seems like he's been there for 40 years. Just keeps being there. What the
He's
fuck?
30 years old.
I know, but he's been there forever. Seems like. Even during their bad times, it's
because he was there when they were awful. So it's the only name.
Now he's there when they're good. This lineup, is good. There's just nothing to say about it. They can score runs, they can hit home runs, and in that ballpark, you can say that pitching's not going to be anything. I knew they moved it in a little bit. They moved some, but the Yankees used to hit 22 home runs a season against this team. This pitching staff, Eflin and Rodriguez, I like them. I think they're two decent pitchers. Now the back end, Morton, I think he's getting up there. He's 41. He's age. But he can still get you some innings here and there.
16 years of MLB service time. That's crazy.
That's an old fucker.
I don't know if I've ever seen a number that high.
For who? For Morton?
Yeah, 16 years of active service.
He's a strong pitcher, and he never really got hurt. But I agree. His pitching staff will struggle, but in their ballpark, they'll be just fine. And on the roads where they'll get in trouble, their bullpen is really good. I thought they were good last year, and I think they're going to be tough this year. So they've got the mixture to be one of the best teams in baseball. Last year they fell apart at the end, and I don't. And that's what killed them. If they can get back to where they are at, and be a good team, they're going to be one of the better teams in the AL East, or AL and AL East. So you might as well just count them in. And Gary Sanchez will never see the fucking field.
Yes, he will, because they like to DH Adley about 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah,
Gary gonna get some playing time. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I picked this team to win the AL East last year. They faltered down the stretch, and I'm going to be honest. The diehard Yankee fan, if Felix Bautista did miss last season with Tommy John and they didn't have to play Kimbrel, they win the division because they only lost it by 3 games. Kimbrel blew like 10 games. But that's without being said. They did blow it down the stretch. It was really their division to win once the Yankees and them both hit their cold stretch at the exact same time for what? 7 weeks, Roy? 6 weeks, right?
The last 2 months. It was
both teams couldn't win a game. Yeah, you look at the lineup. Gunnar Henderson, 42nd pick. Adley, 1st pick. Westberg, 30th pick. Kowser, 5th pick. Holiday, 1st pick. This team, they were god-awful for 8 years. Well, now they're reaping the rewards of it, and they drafted well. Jackson Holiday is going to be a stud whenever he figures it out at the major league level. Colton Kowser, he put on a really good year last year. Jordan Westberg looked really good. Adley actually kind of had a little bit of a down year, and it was still pretty solid. Gunnar Henderson was an MVP candidate. I mean, yeah, you guys nailed it. The lineup's stacked. I think the bullpen's really good. I think Felix Bautista, I mean, he's like, I can't see his height. He's like 6'9" out there, and he's got that blistering fastball and splitter that just run right next to each other. But a little, kind of what Roy said, I'm actually a little down on the rotation. The rotation scares me quite a bit. Grayson Rodriguez has always been pictured to be that next stud. Well, he's just never stayed healthy and taken that next step. Could he? Absolutely. But he hasn't done it yet. Zach Eflin to me is just a solid pitcher. I don't think he's going to, give you 7 shutout in the, a wild card game, but I also don't think he's going to, take you out of a ball game. Morton, you guys nailed it. He's been solid his whole career, but at this age, does he have another season in him? I don't know anything about the dude from Japan. I know he had like a 1 ERA last year, but he's also 35 years old. I assume he doesn't throw very hard. If I had to guess, he's probably a junk pitcher. This team should be really good, especially when they get healthy. Bryce mentioned that. And yeah, they're going to be one of the top teams in the AL if they play better than they did the last 2 months, because they fell apart at the end of the year last year. Yep. And that takes us to the Yankees, Bryce's favorite team. 94-86 record. Lost the World Series to the Dodgers. Key losses. Tommy Kahnle goes to Detroit. Closer Clay Holmes goes to the Mets. Big one Juan Soto goes to the Mets. Nasty Nestor goes to Milwaukee. Gleyber Torres goes to Detroit. Jose Trevino goes to Cincy. And Anthony Rizzo is a free agent. Key adds: Tyler Matzik from Atlanta, reliever. First baseman Paul Goldschmidt from the Cardinals. Cody Bellinger from the Cubs. Max Fried from Atlanta, and Devin Williams from Milwaukee. A lot of changeup. I'm going to read it off the paper. This is not what their lineup will look like, but this is what they have, so I'm going to go off of it. Second base, Jazz Chisholm. Right field, Aaron Judge. Center fielder, Cody Bellinger. First base, Paul Goldschmidt. Catcher, Austin Wells. Shortstop, Anthony Volpe. DH, Ben Rice. Jason Mingus out in left, and Oswaldo at third. DJ on the bench, who's hurt, Oswaldo Peraza. Trent Grisham. Starting pitching, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Clark Schmidt, Marcus Stroman. I'll also throw in Will Warren because he's the other one that'll have the chance. Closer, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Ian Hamilton, Fernando Cruz, Tim Hill, Mark Leiter Jr., Tyler Matzik, and Yaniers Gomez. Stanton will begin the season on the IL. Luis Heel will begin the season on the IL. Jake Cousins, Scott Effross, and Jonathan Weisga will all start the season on the IL. Bryce, I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah, this is my favorite team, the Yankees. They made it to the World Series last year just to lose it and lose Juan Soto as well. Horrible trade after you lose the World Series. Couldn't believe they couldn't re-sign him. Now he's going to be cross town hitting bombs off of you guys.
I will.
Jazz Chisholm, you got a thug at second base. Took Cody Bellinger from us. That was just that was a fleece. Can't believe
we
that
took him
even
for
happened.
fucking candy.
Signed a retirement home player to play first base that hasn't been good in 3 years. Got a couple
2 years ago.
And then you got a couple kids playing the rest of the things. They're all under 25, so maybe whenever DJ LeMahieu comes back, you guys will have your best player back. Let me see.
This guy.
Scott Effross comes back, you guys will probably have a good bullpen.
Oh, he'll never pitch again.
He won't
Ever.
pitch for the Yankees again.
Ever.
That once he comes back, you guys' bullpen will look pretty solid. You guys don't have a lot of depth right now. Not a great closer. I don't know why you guys signed him. Probably should have kept Clay Holmes. What else? I'm missing one guy. What was that guy's name? You guys' favorite player, that Gleyber Torres. Can't believe you got rid of him. He was, that guy.
He was pretty damn good.
Led you to a World Series. Led you to a World Series. You just throw your back on him. But that's what shitty organizations do.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. That's all I got for them.
No.
You want to go? You want me to go?
I'll go. I'll let you go last. I'll try to be quick with this. A lot of changeover for a team that went to the World Series.
What happens whenever you lose a guy that you traded everything for?
That's true. Don't worry, Cubs are right behind us. He'll be rocking the pinstripes next year. Kyle Tucker will. I like all the moves they made for the most part. I really loved the Cody Bellinger trade. He's going to do wonders in New York. Honestly, he really might get back to MVP Bellinger with like the Dodgers. Just was never going to do that in that shitty ballpark and shitty city in Chicago. I really want to see some of the young guys really take a step. I mean, Anthony Volpe did take a step last year. He was better. He really needs to take that step this year at the plate. I really have liked what I've seen from Jason Dominguez in spring training, and I'm not a spring training guy. I really don't give a shit if you go over.
Besides, he can't field a fly ball. That's about it.
I don't give a shit if he can field a fly ball, if he can hit one over.
Yeah, that's
the injuries are a little concerning to me. The Stanton one, I'm not shocked. Stanton gets hurt every year. Heel kind of sucks because I do not want to see Marcus Stroman, another Cub. I don't want to see him. The bullpen guys, Loizac and Cousins should be back pretty soon. They're really not out that long. I love Devin Williams in the bullpen, the strikeout wizard. One of the best teams in the AL. I'm not going to be biased, but we got a lot of concerns, a lot of uncertainty. We just got to see it play out. I'll say that. But, I mean, if this team – if you just get an average Paul Goldschmidt, a good Bellinger, a regular Judge, Jazz stays healthy. It's a loaded lineup, loaded pitching staff. That's what I'm most excited to see. Fried, Cole, Schmidt, Rodon, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver. I'm excited to watch him pitch. Go ahead, Roy.
all right. So I'm not as high on the. I mean, I like Jason Dominguez, but if he can't, our defense is what concerns me. I mean, I think our defense is what's going to concern me all year. It's going to. If you can't catch fly ball, I do worry about that. Now, I mean, Cody Bellinger, I do think is going to take a step up. I really do think he's going to be better. Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, what's the difference between him and Anthony Rizzo? I mean, there was nothing difference other than
Paul Goldschmidt, his very first swing of spring training, hit a ball harder than Anthony Rizzo did his entire Yankee career.
Yeah, so I'm okay
First
with
swing.
Paul Goldschmidt now. I mean, there was no difference. I mean, about the same age, where I think is what they were. The big key for there's three keys in that lineup right there. Well, I wish we had a third baseman. I wish give Peraza a chance and let him just do it. I know
there's a much
I
better
know you guys
now.
are Cabrera fans. I am not. I mean, I think he's a good utility
I wanted him
player.
in the Bellinger trade.
I like him in the role he's in now. Platoon, get him in there on someone's day off. He does not need to be an everyday player at third base.
No, he's not an everyday player.
Yeah.
And G.J. LeMahieu just needs to retire. He's already injured again. He's going to be injured all year. And when he's injured, he's not good. That's just it's been traditionally showing that when he gets hurt at all, he's not very good hitting wise, and he can't play the field as well as he used to. We need Jazz Chisholm to quit being a free swinger that he is and come back to when he was younger or a couple of years ago when he had made solid contact. I mean, we don't need him to be that home run hitter. I mean, short porch, he'll do it, but we need Anthony Volpe to take a step up. Stanton's a big loss at the DH just because, I mean, even though he struck out 200 freaking times, at least you get a home run here and there. If your DH is going to be Ben Rice,
He's a stud.
whatever. I don't got nothing to say. That just drives me nuts. I think Austin Wells is the key. I think he is going to have a good season. I really do. I worry that he's a full season behind the plate. I mean, I think he's such a good defensive catcher that, I don't want him getting taken away from his hitting too. He's pretty good. Now, I love the pitching, except for Stroman. Can't fucking stand that guy. And Rodon, I don't like him, but Rodon will at least compete you in a couple games. I love Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Clark Schmidt. I love that. I wish they'd give Will Warren the fifth spot.
I'm not going to lie, Roy. I really think they're going to give him the slot.
Do what?
I think they're going to give him the final slot. I
Over
really do.
Stroman? What are they going to do with Stroman then?
Because Stroman has the player option. If he throws a certain amount of innings, he gets $18 million guaranteed next year. They obviously don't want to do that. That's why no one will take him.
But he's already said he's not going to bullpen, so what are they going to do?
Let him sit and not pitch so that he doesn't hit the innings.
$18 million or whatever we're doing.
But then they can cut it. Then his contract's over. If they pitch him and he hits the innings mark, guess what? You got him for $18 million next year.
Yeah. Well, I want Will Warren. I don't like Marcus Stroman. I think he's as has been. Now our bullpen, I love. I don't care. I don't know what I love Devin Williams as a closer. Luke Weaver did great last year, and I think he figured out some stuff coming over to the Yankees. He's figured some things out. I've always been an Ian Hamilton fan. He just got hurt last year, and his problem is I think we overuse him. I think Boone gets in a habit of using these guys over and over, and some of them. Tim Hill, I love bringing back Tim Hill. I thought if he comes in the ninth inning against the Dodgers and not pitching Nestor Cortez, it's a different World Series.
To be fair, Nestor Cortez did get Shohei Ohtani out, the best hitter in the world at the time.
So,
I'm saying.
I won't stand for the nasty.
Ohtani hadn't been doing anything the entire in that game yet.
I don't either. That guy was great for us.
I want Tim Hill.
And then the nastiest pitch I've ever seen.
Who?
Nasty Nestor.
Yeah, fuck Nasty Nestor. I think he's still balking.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna get your revenge because Nasty Nestor is gonna be pitching Yankee Stadium on opening weekend.
Okay. And then I can't wait till Loizia comes back. I've always been a big fan of him. I know you
Johnny
don't.
Lasagna.
I like him. I'm so tired of him. He gets hurt every year.
I know, but I hope he comes back
3 weeks and gets hurt for the rest of the season. I hate him. I just want him out. I wanted somebody else.
This Yankee team has potential to be really good again this year. Let's hope they do it. And I think they'll be the best team in the major American League. But we'll I think with their pitching staff, I think Garrett Cole is going to lead that team, and Judge, he'll have a great regular season. Let's see what he does in the postseason.
Yeah, true. All right, rankings time. I already have my ranking in here, but I'll listen to you guys go first. Bryce?
In 5th place, I'm going to have the Blue Jays.
Okay.
In 4th, I will have the Rays.
Okay.
In 3rd, I will have the Red Sox.
Okay.
And 2nd, I will have the Orioles.
Okay.
And in 1st, I'll have the Yankees.
Let me guess, Roy. You got the same.
Nope. I have Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles, Yankees.
Oh. Do I want to change mine at all?
You're changing because we were different.
I have the same as one of you guys.
It's me.
I know it says
It is. I had the same one as Bryce. I had Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox, Orioles, Yankees. I'm not going to lie. I'm about 50-50 on if I want to flip the Orioles and Red Sox. That's
what I was thinking too, but I just
don't think I
just don't see the Red Sox being there.
The thing about the Red Sox that scares me is really not anything but the Red Sox, is if the Orioles pitch, they will finish second or first. Like, they just will. If they don't, then I can see the Red Sox hanging in there. I'm going to keep it. I feel pretty good. Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox, Rays, Blue Jays. I really do think the Blue Jays are going to finish last, though. So that's all I got. That's all we got for baseball.
Well, we got my game real quick.
Oh, yep.
So we're going to start off with a starting pitcher.
Garrett Cole.
I'm taking Crochet.
I'm taking Garrett Cole.
I'm taking Garrett Crochet. I think he is better than Garrett Cole. Now we need a closer.
A closer?
Oh, Batista.
No, Devin Williams.
I was going to say you're taking Batista over Devin Williams.
If Devin Williams was not in this division, it's 100% Batista. Now it's Devin Williams, though.
I mean, I like Devin Williams, but I think.
Oh, Roy, give him a month. Let him watch him close games and see that airbender of a changeup he's got. I know you probably haven't watched it. Oh, that thing is nasty, Roy. And the good thing about him having a changeup, that's how he can get lefties out. So he's not, lefties are going to get him because he's got the out pitch.
All right, trust you.
All right, we need a catcher.
I think this is pretty obviously.
I also do.
Adley Rutschman.
Addy.
Okay.
All right, first base.
Guerrero.
Who?
Vlad.
Oh, yeah.
Second base.
Jackson Holiday, maybe.
I was thinking Alex Bregman.
Well, yeah, I forget about Bregman playing.
Yeah, it probably is Alex Bregman until he doesn't have a really good year. I'll tell you what, though. Super underrated is Brandon Lau from Tampa. That dude, when he
Brandon,
plays,
I mean, he
he
does
hits.
pretty good.
but he does get injured. I would lean Bregman though.
Go,
Now we
Brandon.
need a shortstop.
Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Third base.
I fucking hate to say it, Devers.
Fucking scoop that damn thing into the fucking short
Rafi
porch.
Scoops.
Sooner or later, it won't be Rafi Devers. It'll be Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
And then we need 3 outfielders.
Well, Judge.
Yep.
Maybe.
I mean,
Jaron Duran definitely makes it.
do you give Bellinger? I mean,
I need to look at these other teams real quick.
I don't. I mean, yeah,
That'd be Orioles beat.
Duran, and then maybe I would say Bellinger.
It's between to me. It's Judge, Duran, Bellinger, or Santander. I mean, he had such a good year last year.
Figured you'd go Tyler O'Neill. I figured that's
I
who you.
fucking hate Tyler O'Neill. Only hit over that damn monster.
No,
Colton Cowser's probably not far off, but I lean Bellinger because I know what he's going to do this year. But if you're not going to count what you think happens future, I probably would say Santander.
I'd say Bellinger, but you go.
Then the only thing we have left is DH.
Are we
Well,
going off the position DH listed?
Yeah.
Listed.
Stanton's hurt.
Yeah.
So,
Shit, this is a terrible list.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Wow, this is an awful list.
Varsho.
No chance.
I mean, I don't think.
Oh,
Probably
man.
is Varsho.
Is he listed at DH?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what,
I think it is Varsho.
Can we just
Varsho.
wash it and just say it's shit?
I'm not gonna lie. I would take Ryan O'Hearn over Varsho.
Oh,
At
I
least he
probably
can
would.
hit
Yeah,
home
I
runs.
forgot about Ryan O'Hearn. Is he listed?
He's listed as their DH.
I'd go Ryan O'Hearn then.
Let's see. He's projected 1 point. Well, I can't look at WAR because Varsho's going to play center,
Stuff, yeah.
and he's going to have fantastic defense. I mean, if you're counting as a player, Varsho. But if you're counting DH, who in my opinion is just going to hit, I would take O'Hearn.
All right.
All right. What's next?
All right, college basketball, Roy.
Well, this week, hey, we're last week of regular season. That's
Yep.
all we're gonna say. There's we're down to the conference tournament next week, and then the NCAA tournament. So 2 weeks we'll have our special show
Yep.
where we'll pick teams on when the tournament comes out. We got special guests come and join us.
Yep. We got a
So
lot
that
of
should
them.
be fun. And just look out for that. That's all we're gonna say.
Yeah.
We're missing something.
Go
What am I
ahead.
missing?
So there was some game that happened
Yeah.
over the past week.
You guys are like talking about one game where Illinois got lucky and
Kick
got
the
hot.
living
Whoopie
shit out of the
freaking do.
Wolverines in Michigan. Man,
Whoopie do.
you know,
You guys
you
act
know
like
what's
it's-
my
Roy was even posting on his Facebook before the game. Like, are you ready for these?
Who is second in the Big Ten and who
I
is
don't give a
eighth?
shit if you're a one seed in the
Let's see.
NCAA
That'd be
tournament.
Illinois eighth, Michigan second. You guys really think about this shit.
But what I
But
will
what?
say,
Who's going to win the Big Ten? Not fucking Illinois.
not fucking Michigan.
Michigan will win tonight and on Sunday and
Oh,
be
God.
Big Ten champs.
Not after losing to that Illinois team if they're that bad.
Yeah,
At home,
Illinois got lucky. Just
they
got
didn't
hot.
get lucky. They played 10 times better than Michigan.
They
Michigan
shot
played
the
like
lights
shit.
out. And shot the lights out in weeks.
We shot like 30%.
You shot 50% from three.
Mm.
In the second half, you
Oh,
were
second half maybe.
second half. You were at one point were not like 8 for 13 or something like that. Something
Shoot, we're gonna
ridiculous.
shoot.
All I'm
Shoot it,
saying,
shoot.
Do what? I didn't hear.
no. But yeah, we have conference tournaments start. God, they got to be starting. I know the big ones start in about a week, but the little conferences, those are the fun ones in my opinion.
They started.
those are
They started this week.
Yeah, they're starting. I don't know if you know this, Roy. I know you don't give a shit, but Bryce might actually find this funny. SIUE has to win 2 games, and they're in March Madness. How their bracket is, they're in the semis. That's how it starts. The 1 and the 2 seeds start in the semis. I've looked at their schedule, Bryce. They're the 2 seed. SEMO is the 1 seed. They've played SEMO 3 times and lost by a combined 68 points.
Damn.
They lose by 20 every game to SEMO. So if SEMO makes it and so does SIUE, they probably lose. But still, I just think that's funny that they're 2 games away technically. Yeah, so March Madness is a great tournament. So we'll do another bracket. See the winners. Maybe the wives and the girlfriends can get in because let's be real, the less you know about college basketball, usually the better you do.
All right. You got a game, Josh?
I don't have a game this week. Nope.
I got to play. Since you guys bitched about who I picked last week on your
thank God.
Name a player, I got a player.
You know, I got a text about that.
Okay. How awesome mine was?
The guy, his dad is a Yankee fan. Like when he grew up, the guy is like in his 30s. So he showed his dad the video. Dad had never heard of the guy ever.
Oh, then he's not a true Yankee fan.
I went, dear God, if you didn't watch the Yankees every single 162 games that year, man, you didn't know who that player was.
Yeah, right.
One-time All-Star from the
Royals. I got a player for you. 20 questions, right? Go.
It's definitely going to be baseball, Josh.
Yeah, it is a baseball player, so.
All right.
I'm still counting that as a question.
I was gonna ask that as a question. What do you want to do, Josh?
You know, normal. I mean, is he known for playing for the Yankee, all that stuff?
Is he most known for playing in the AL?
No.
Okay. NL East.
No.
West.
No.
Okay. NL Central. Cubs.
Yes.
Yeah. I should have known that when he said NL. Okay. Most known for playing for the Cubs.
I hate when you guys do this. Pick the Cubs and pick some player I'm not going to get.
You should get this one.
Was he a starting pitcher?
No.
I should have said pitcher, motherfucker.
Is he an infielder?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask a time frame, Bryce?
Yeah.
Did he play in 2000 or later for most of his career?
Not for most of his career, no.
Okay, so he got in, but not for most of his career. So he's a 90s player, Bryce.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'm not going to lie, Bryce. I don't know a crazy amount of Cub infielders.
I know a couple.
So, yeah, I'm also in agreement. So at this point, I'm going to ask one more question. And after that, I'm going to start rattling.
Okay.
Does this player play second base?
No.
That eliminates.
I
was not going to give you Ryan Sandberg. That's your fucking player.
That's who I was thinking too, Josh.
I was thinking as well.
I would just assume it's not Sosa. Oh, I guess he's
no. Is it a first baseman?
Yes.
Oh boy.
90. Oh man, I don't know if I know this at all.
Josh, do you think we should ask if he also played for the Yankees or not? Would that help?
Sure. Did he also play for the Yankees in his career?
No.
Damn, I actually had a guess if he would have said yes. And I wouldn't even known if it was right, but I would have had a guess.
I'll give you a free guess. Who'd you say it was? I think it was.
I was gonna say I don't even know if this guy played for the Cubs. I just know he played for the Yankees. I was gonna say Cody Bellinger's dad.
No, that's not who it was.
I thought maybe there'd be a crazy connection there.
I'll tell you that. I'll give you a hint. Since you got 11 questions, he played for 2 teams only. The Cubs was the one he played for the most of his career, and he played for another team.
Well, that didn't help me at all.
And he won a World Series with that other team. So there, I gave you some hints.
The problem is I don't have any Cubs first baseman on my mind, so I
don't know. I don't even know if I have a guess.
I don't either. I mean, I can.
I will have never heard of this guy.
I'm hoping I'll have heard of him, but no, I don't know. Go ahead, tell us.
You're already done.
I don't have.
On
I don't even have a
11
name.
questions.
Ryan Ludwig.
No.
He played in the 2000s.
Well, this guy played from 88 to 2003.
Man, that's a long. I'm gonna know this name.
I think.
I don't know who it is, but I'm
Any
gonna
guess?
know the name.
Or before I say it, any guess?
What was the other team he played for?
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Would have beat the Yankees in the
And-
World Series, right?
Do what?
Would have won the World Series against the Yankees.
Yep.
I don't know who their first baseman was. You're looking it up, aren't you?
No, well, the person I've been thinking of this whole time, I just thought was a pitcher, but I don't think he is.
We'll just say it.
Mark Grace.
That's who it is.
I thought he pitched for some reason.
I have
Who's the
never heard that
pitcher?
name in my life.
Mark Grace was a first baseman for the Cubs.
Mark Grace was good.
I've never heard that name.
I
in my
just
life.
thought he was a pitcher for some reason. I've always heard that guy.
You never heard of him?
No, I literally just said
No, I'm talking to Josh.
Oh.
Josh
Never heard
has
that name
never
in
heard
my
of
life.
him.
Never.
That's pretty surprising, Josh. He's in the show.
Well, I don't play with Cubs. I don't know Cubs history like that.
He won the World Series, yeah, and then he was a coach for their Diamondbacks.
Once he said Diamondbacks, I was like, I know Mark Grace played for the Diamondbacks. I just did it on the pickle
Never heard of him.
thing the other day.
All right, that was who I thought I'd
All
give
right.
you guys at least a chance on one since you bitched about since Josh bitched
I
about.
wish you
James
could pick a
Carville
player
the
I've
entire
heard
time.
of in this century.
I'll come up with a different player next time.
Pick a player that played in the year 2000 to 2009 or something. Something they weren't coaching by the time. Like, I know this is going to sound crazy to you, Roy. Don Mattingly is a baseball coach to me, not a player. Like, I know it. I've seen like enough
He's a
film
player
of
to
that
me.
now. But he's a coach. He was a coach of the Dodgers and the Marlins. So, like, I'm just saying.
All right, I'll think of somebody better.
Thank God. Like button, subscribe. Next week, AL Central. The week after that, 2 baseball games will have already happened. 2 of them being the Cubs. But we will do our draft 2 days after, those 2 games don't matter anyway for our draft. Central, and then our big boy draft. Like button, subscribe, comment. I have hiccups. We'll see you next week.
And
Peace.
why the hell are you wearing a Johnny Manziel shirt?
Nope, wrong way.